lecture, again, we are going to complete our topic, that is our packages in Java. So now, till now, what we have covered. So according to you, in my opinion, that till now you have an overview about, okay, what is a package, why do we need a package, okay, and how to create a package and how to basically access a package. So these are the things which we have covered so far. So you already know that a package is a group or of similar types of classes, interfaces, and sub packages. So always try to remember that package is nothing but it is a folder. Okay, always try to understand in such a way, so that if you are going to map a package with a folder, so that you will understand, okay, in package we might have, like in folder we might have some subfolders. Similarly, a package we can have some you can say that some packages too, right? And there are some built-in packages and user-defined packages. So in our last lecture, we have also discussed about built-in package. So you know that what are the built-in package. So in your labs, in your CodeSinger labs, the most commonly package which you are using is your import java.util package, right? And after that, there are many built-in packages are also there. Like as I told you that in Java, there is a by default package, even though you are not importing that particular package, but still there is a package known as your import java.lang package. And in today's lecture, I will tell you the reason why this package is there. How can we, what is the evidence that I'm saying that, okay, we have a package that import java.lang and it is already there. How can I say that? Okay, so using one example, I will try to show you that, okay, this package is already there, right? Then we have some other packages based on your functionality. If you want to connect with your database, you will use. So most probably we are going to cover all these packages, okay, in our entire Java programming course. Yeah. So after that, we have gone through that, okay, these are the packages. If you go through import java.awt, these are what your classes, okay. So what if I'm going to just write import java.awt, okay, right? And if I'm going to use dot asterisk, it means I can access all these classes. All the classes that are listed there in that particular folder, I will be able to access all these classes, okay, right? So after that, we have gone through, okay, how to create a package. If you want to create a user-defined package, so how can you create? So always write up, there is a keyword named as package. Then you just write the name of that package, and then you can start writing your code, whatever that code you want to write. Okay. But always remember that whenever you are creating or start writing your program, your first line should be your package, my package. And if somebody will ask you, okay, if in a program you are not writing any package, so whether you are creating a package or not, then you will say that yes, we have a package name as your unnamed package. Like in your CodeSinger program over there, it's not like that you are not creating a package. So unnamed package generally provided by our Java. Okay. So whatever the ID, suppose if you are using ID, or suppose if you are using any different compiler for Java, so that compiler will provide you what your unnamed package, right? So generally till now in CodeSinger, if we are not basically creating any package, so we are creating, our compiler is providing us what your unnamed package, right? So after that, what are the things which we have learned in our last lecture is that in a single program we cannot create multiple packages. So I want to create a two package. So can I create? No, it is not possible in Java. So for a single source code or single file, you can create only single package. You cannot write two package kind of thing. Means in a single file you cannot basically create two packages. For a single file you can create only single package, right? So this is very important. Otherwise, if you can create two packages, you will get an error, right? So it is not possible in Java. That is why you will get an error. Then we have gone through the naming convention, and I told you the utility. Even though you are not going to get any error, okay, if you are not following this naming convention, you will not get any error. But it is always recommended that your package should start with your lowercase. All the characters of your that particular package should be in your lowercase, and your class name should be start. First character of your class name should start with a uppercase. So what is the need? Why we are asking for that? You should follow naming convention, because here in this case, if I am going to show you this problem, okay, so here you will understand directly, you will understand that this math is what this is a class. Why it is a class? Because the first character of this variable name, suppose whatever the variable name I have used over there, it is a class name, right? Similarly, we have Java, we have Lang. So you will directly say, okay, Lang is not what? It is not a class, it is a package. Okay, or you can call it as a sub package of your Java. So these are the things which we are going to learn. Okay, so that is why naming convention is very important, because right now you already know about, okay, Java and Lang is a sub package. What if I will show you some other packages too? Then in that scenario, how you are able to find out whether it is a package or whether it is a class? So that is a very important differentiator, okay? That using this naming convention, you will be able to identify or find it out whether it is a whether that particular variable name belongs to your package name or your class name. So always, whenever you are writing your program, okay, in your CodeZinger, always try, it is recommended, always try to use class name, whatever the class name you want to create. Like for example, student. So for example, in that scenario, S capital first character should be in your uppercase, right? And after that, we have also that this thing I have already told you that your program should start with a package. Then after it should, whatever the, if you want to import something, then you import it. Then if you want to create a class, then you can create a class. So always recommended that first line of your program, if you are creating a package, it should be a package. Otherwise, if you are going to change the order, you will get an error. So the order should be like this, okay? And one more thing which is very important with respect to package is that whenever we are importing a package, okay, whenever we are importing a package, then all the classes and interfaces of that particular package will be imported. You already know that is why we always use package. But the main important thing is that excluding the classes and interfaces of sub packages. So as I told you that we have a package named as, like as I told you, what does it mean? It means that here in this case, what we have a package name as Java, we have package name as AWT. So if I'm going to write import Java only, okay, like this, if I'm going to write this thing, then what will happen? I won't be able to access these classes. These classes I cannot access. Why? Because these classes are located inside your this sub package. I cannot access the classes or interfaces of your sub packages. I can access only, suppose we have a class something XYZ, okay? So I can access that class, XYZ class, because that XYZ class is directly related with your Java package, okay? But you cannot directly access your sub packages. So always remember this point in your mind, okay? So that is why whenever we want to access some classes of that particular package, so we will directly go through that the location of that particular package, like that, okay? Now, after this, what we have learned, see, here what I have done, I have changed the order. So you know that our first line of the program should start with a package. If I'm not going to write it down like that, then what will happen? I will get an error. So you can directly see here that we are getting an error. Now, how to access it? So till now, you know that how to create a package. Package creation is not a very difficult task. What you need to do, you need to just write a single line. Okay, that is your package and whatever the name of that package, and always recommended that your name should be in your lowercase. Now the second thing which is very important is like how we are going to access a package. Suppose if you have created, we have user defined package right now, or we have your system built-in package already. So how we are going to access this package? So there are three ways to access that package. So in the last class we have discussed about if you want to access the package on the basis of sub package. So what you do, you directly write import package. So dot, and you have to write star over there. Why we are writing star? So that because we want to access all the classes or interfaces that are directly, always remember, that are directly belong to that particular package. Only directly. This is very important. It's not like that you can access sub packages, classes, and your interfaces. No, sub packages, classes, and interfaces we cannot access. Okay. So in that scenario, if you want to access a package directly, then write down dot asterisk. And if you want to access that particular package with respect to directly class, then you can directly write class name. So yesterday we have already discussed, and fully qualified name over there, we are not importing any package right now. Okay, so here in this case, in the last class, we have discussed about first one is valid or invalid. So you know that first one is your valid. Why? Because the scanner is a class. Okay, so we can directly access these things. But this one is wrong. The reason why it is wrong, because we have used a dot and asterisk over there. Always remember. So in the case of whenever you are directly accessing a class, if you want to import a package and which through which you want to directly access that class, or you can call it as what your explicit class import. Okay, so it is not valid in Java. You cannot write this asterisk sign for that. But for packages, you can write. If you want to implicit, if you want to basically access
So
that.
where do we have to put the asterisk and where not?
Okay, see, whenever you are directly accessing that particular folder, na, then you will directly, whenever you want to access the entire package, right? So in that scenario, you will write down dot and asterisk. Over there, you will write what your pass dot asterisk over there. But whenever you are accessing a class, then in that scenario, you don't have to include this dot asterisk over there, right? Why we are writing? See, we have a package named as Java. Inside Java, you know that we have different packages. Suppose one package is util. And in util, let's assume we have several classes, out of which we have one class is named as what, your scanner class. Now, when to use your asterisk, or when we are not going to use this asterisk. See, whenever we were going to write import Java dot util, it means I want to access, suppose you want to access all the classes of that particular folder, okay, or you can call it as your sub package. Then what you do, you just write asterisk over there. Asterisk will tell us that, okay, now you can access whatever the classes that are there in my program, right? While in the second case, if you want to access till only import java dot util dot scanner. Now it means that if suppose we have a class xyz over here, so if I'm going to import, if I'm going to write this statement, right, then in that scenario I won't be able to access this class. I will be able to access only this class only. Okay, so that is why, so whenever you are accessing till you're directly accessing your class, okay, so in that scenario just write semicolon. Whenever you are accessing your entire sub package, then in that scenario just write your dot asterisk. Got the answer? Or still having any doubt? Yes.
Okay, sir, got it.
Okay, got it. Okay, then what we are going to do, so after that we have covered your using name package. So you know that we can directly see, this is how basically we can create a package. So see here, we want to access the package like this. So in that scenario, I have just write it down, import pack dot asterisk like that. I just want to give you an example. That's why I have just write it down an example. So if I want to access all the classes of this package, so I will just write import pack and I will write dot asterisk. But if I want to access that particular class, then what I will do, I will write import pack dot a, and I am not going to write dot asterisk over there. Why? Because I'm only accessing that particular class only. So if there is a class B, so I won't be able to, sorry, class C, so I won't be able to access that particular class. Then using fully qualified name, that generally we never used this approach, okay? Because as I told you, the drawback of this approach, so you can, in that scenario, you don't require to write import. Okay, what you do, you directly access, you directly write it down, whatever the path you want to follow. Okay, like java.util.arraylist. So this is the class ArrayList, and we are creating an object of this ArrayList like that. Okay, so what is the problem with this thing is that a readability problem, increase length code. So generally we never prefer what your fully qualified name, but still you should have an idea about that. If somebody will ask you, okay, whether it is possible in Java or not, then you will say that yes, this is possible in Java and this is known as your fully qualified name, right? So these are the things which we have already covered in our last lecture. Okay, and then we have also gone through, okay, what if we have a conflict, like yesterday I just told you about, okay, there is a class, date class, that is available in your util package and your SQL package. Okay, so what is the difference between them? So both the class contain date, both the package contain date class. So if I want to import both the package, and if I'm going to execute the code, then I will get an error that date is ambiguous. Always remember this point. Then even in your user defined package too, you might get stuck in these such kind of issues. Okay, and yesterday one question has been asked, okay, what is the difference between date package of your util and what is the difference between SQL date package? Okay, so there are various actually differences between your util package and your SQL package, because SQL package, as you know, that it is this date contains some methods which are directly associated with what your database management system. Okay, while util package is a normal package which just required your date and time. But if somebody will ask you, okay, what is the generalized different when to use util package, when to use SQL dot date package, you can say that dot date class, then in that scenario you will directly say that, okay, util dot date class contains your YYYY. Okay, so you already know that what we have year, month, and your date. It also contain the util package of this date class of util package contains time too. So it contains date and time. Okay, date and time. It contains both. While in the case of your date class of SQL package contains only your date, it doesn't contain your time. Okay, it just contain your YYYY, MM, and DD. So later on, whenever we are going to learn your SQL, then we are going to see, because there are various other methods too. Whenever we are executing our queries, then you will see that some methods that are there in your date class of SQL packages that are not there in your date class of your util package. Okay, so these things we are going to learn, but still somebody will, if somebody will is going to ask you, okay, what is the generalized difference between util package and your SQL package, then you will say that, okay, the date class of util package contains date and time, but the date package, the date class of SQL package contains only date only. Okay, it doesn't contain your time. So for time they will have a separate class, but here date and type are included inside this class, that is known as your date class, right? So what if we are having some conflict scenarios? So always remember we have some generalized multiple packages scenarios. So what we have, we will give to whom the priority if we are having some what we call it as your confliction. So right now you can see over there we are using a class, date class is there in both your util package as well as your SQL package. So in that scenario, you can see directly over there that both of them are in the same priority. Okay, so that is why what will happen, you will get an error. But so how to resolve this? In order to resolve this issue, what we generally do, we set different priorities. So the always remember that the highest priority will go to the explicit time class import. So what do you mean by explicit class import? Explicit class import means you are importing a package and you are not importing the entire sub package. but you are importing only that class, that particular class of that particular package. So what does it mean if I'm going to write import Java dot, suppose util or dot date? Okay, so this means that now I am accessing what? This is known as your explicit class import. Explicit means I am basically also telling that, okay, this is the date I want to access. I want to access only date class of this package. I don't want to access a scanner class or anything else. So in that scenario, what you do, you will directly write this. So whenever you are having some scenarios where one of the package is explicit and the second package is, let's assume, SQL. Okay, so suppose second package is implicit. As you already know that this one is implicit. Why? Because we are accessing the entire sub package, and here we are accessing only that particular class. So it will give always the highest priority to this package. So at that time you will not get any error. Always remember, right? Now the second priority will always goes to the current work directory. Current work directory means, suppose now in a program we have a class ABC, and inside this inside our current package, suppose I have created a package and I want to create one more class, and the name of this class is again date. Okay, and if I'm going to create an object of date class, or always remember that it will directly call that current work directory package. Okay, so if you are having some confliction, so it will always give the priority to what your current work directory, that is CWD. And the third one will goes to your implicit. If you have only one package, then it will give the highest priority to them only. So what does it mean that like in our earlier case, we are getting an error because both the packages are what your implicit package. Implicit package means, as I told you, that we are directly accessing the entire classes of that particular package. So in that scenario, we are getting an error. But now what I have done, I have made one package as your explicit type. Okay, explicit means I just want to access that particular date class only, and second package. So here till now again you will say that, okay, we might get an error because in SQL also contains date package, and here we are accessing that, sorry, date class, and here again we are accessing what your date class. But in both the scenarios, as I told you, that we will now at that time we are going to follow that your priority rules. And according to the priority rules, that if you are having some sort of, you can say that, conflict among your class name, then it will always give the highest priority to whom? Your explicit. Okay, so that is why here in this case, this date will belong to which class? Your util package class. Okay, right? So in that scenario, so this code will execute fine. Now you will not get any error. So yesterday we have ended this class by using this. So you already know that if you want to access this thing, so this is the only valid way if you want to access that particular pattern class. Now in today's class, what we are going to learn, we are going to discuss about java.lang package. So what I told you, that whenever you are writing any program in your code zinger, so generally, I have seen that all of you are importing which package? Import java.util package. This package you are basically importing. But what I told you, that whenever you are executing your program, you also import one more package that is known as your import java.lang package. Lang, Lang means your language package. Okay. Util means utility package. Lang means it is related to your language. Okay. Now this. Now, even though, always remember, you are not writing this statement, automatically your Java compiler will provide you this package. Always remember this thing in your mind. Okay. Even though if you want to write, that is okay. You will not get any error. But even though if you are not writing it, your Java compiler is providing you. Now the question that comes into your mind is, how can you say that that we are importing this package, that is your java.lang package. What is the evidence? Okay, how can we say that okay we are importing this package? So let's take one example. So first we'll see that java.lang package is by default package available in all Java program. Hence, we don't need to write import, which I told you. Now, the question that comes into your mind is, how can we say that? What is the evidence? So I'm just telling you the evidence. Now here what I'm doing, I'm just writing, I have created a class. Inside this main, what I'm doing, I'm just creating string s is equals to new string main. Now, if I am going to execute this code, then this code will execute fine. Okay, so there will be no error. Now, where this string, so you already know that a string is what? String is a class. String is what? String is a class. That is why you can see over there whenever you are writing in your code zinger, okay? Whenever you are writing your program for int, you are using a small int. For double, you are writing small double. But for string, are you writing all the things, all the characters of string in a small letter? No. First character is what your capital one. Okay, so that is why it means that using this naming convention we can say that okay this string is what it is, a class. But where this class is located, okay, because in our class, in our program we don't have this string class. So this string class is actually located inside my java.lang package. So that is why I don't require, okay, always remember, I don't require it to basically import it. By default, I'm getting it, so I will be able to access that. So what I mean to say is that if I'm going to write scanner sc is equals to new scanner in this program, okay, again in the same program, if I'm going to execute this program, then what will happen? If I'm going to execute this program, so you know that we will get an error. What error we will get? That scanner is undefined, is not defined, okay? So we haven't defined this scanner. So how? Because this scanner class is not there in our program. So how can we call a class? How can we create an object of this scanner class? So that is why we generally import java.util. Now this inside this util package we have a class that is known as your scanner class. So now we will be able to access this particular class. Okay, so no issue at all. But what I told you here in our current scenario, we are creating an object of our string class, but we haven't created this string class in our program. So how can we access this class? And we are not importing any package. So that is why using this evidence, we can say that, okay, in Java, we are automatically, our Java is providing us a default package that is always available when you are start writing your code. And that package is known as your import java.lang package, right? So this is all about your Java package, in the default package. So if in your what your in interview somebody will ask you that what is the default package that is already available in Java, even though you are not importing that package, then you will directly say that okay, there is a package named at java.lang package. And if somebody will ask you, okay, what is the evidence? How can you say that okay, that package is available? Then you can give an example of this. Okay, this you will say that where this string class is located, because we haven't created that string class. So this string class is located inside this your import java.lang package, and hence we are not getting any error. Now till now we have covered majority of your entire concept of your package. Okay, so right now which I'm just going to tell you about static import, even though it is not at all that much, the utility of this static import is, I must say that 5 to 10%, not more than that, I must say that. So whatever the things which we have covered so far, that is sufficient. If you want to execute, or if you want to create a package, if you want to access a package, so whatever the things which I have told you, okay, with respect to package, that is okay. But I just want to tell you one more concept that is known as your static import. The reason why I just want to tell you about this topic is that because this is also a part of your package. Okay. But even though if you are going to ask me about the utility, so the utility is very less. As I told you, 5 to 10%. It depends upon you, but majority of the time, I will say that you are going to use either explicit, you can say that call of that particular package, or implicit. Like import java.util you will use, or you will write import java.util.scanner like that. So most of the time you are going to do like that. Okay. But what do you mean by static import? Let's go through it so that you will have an idea. If in future, if you'll face some code and somebody have used this static import, so that you will be in a stage to understand that particular code too. Okay, so that is why I have included this topic in my PPT of that particular packages in Java. Right. So let's start. So according to Sun, so as you already know that Sun microsystem, so I've just write it down as Sun. Sun is a Sun microsystem. Okay. So right now your Java comes under your Oracle. So earlier it comes under your Sun microsystem. So that is why. So what they have done, they have uses of static import reduces your code and improves readability. So generally, why we use static imports, okay, in your Java programming language, because it reduces your code and improves your readability. And with example I will try to show you that how it will help us to reduce our code, okay, and improves our readability. Okay, right? So but according to www expert like us, so we are basically an expert. Now I'm assuming that all of us are having an idea about Java programming language, so I'm assuming that now we are an expert somehow, with basic, like whatever the basic knowledge that are required with respect to your Java programming language. What they claim that there is a community that is known as your www expert. Okay, those who are using your Java programming language, they are saying that usage of static import creates confusion and reduces readability. Okay, so there are two organizations, you can say that, and both of the organization are basically conflicting with each other. According to the Sun microsystem, what they said that okay, if you are using static import, there is a concept we are going to discuss about it, no need to worry. If you are going to discuss about, if you are going to use static import, it will increase our code, reduces our code and improves our readability. Always remember. But according to us, if we are using, and even you can just, even after going through this static import, you can just try to find out whether we should satisfy with this definition or this definition. Also try to tell me, okay, whether you are satisfied with your Sun definition, which they are saying that okay, please use static import because it reduces code and improves readability. But what our www expert, what they are saying, that the uses of static import create confusion. It creates a lot of confusion and reduces our readability. So according to them, they are saying that please don't use static import. But Sun is saying please use static import because it improves your readability. So let's find it out by our own, whether it reduces our readability or increases our readability. Okay, so that is why I said that in most of the scenario we are not going to use a static import, because there is a confliction among different organizations, even among you also. Some student might say that yes sir, it will improve our readability, but it might be possible that some of you might say that no sir, it will reduce our readability. Okay, let's see. So hence, if there is not specific requirement, it is not recommended to use static import. So we will see, it depends upon the user or programmer. I'm not saying that I will tell you, okay, please don't use a static import. It depends upon you, whether you want to use it or not. But in overall scenario, it is not recommended, okay, but is a generalized way. Like majority of them are now saying that, okay, please don't use static import if it is not, if you don't have some specific requirement. Okay, like this. Now as what do you mean by static import? Now the by the name static, what you have come through what you know about static. So static is a keyword, okay, which is basically related with respect to your class, okay. So you already know that we till now we have covered your static variable, static method, as well as your static block. So these three things we have covered so far with respect to static, and you already know the need of your static is that during the time of class loading, we will be able to access these static. But with respect to import, what do you mean by static import? Let's take one example. Now, so static import means we are accessing, always remember, we are accessing only your static variables and static methods. What does it mean? It means that if you want to access some static method, okay, some static method of that particular class, right now what you are doing in CodeZinger, in a program, you are creating different methods. So suppose someone is creating static methods, some of you are creating instance method. So with the help of static import, what we are doing, we are directly accessing what your static methods. Always remember, okay. So till now, what we are accessing either your entire sub package, entire sub classes of sub package, or we are accessing only one class. Now using static import, what we are accessing, we are directly accessing the either all the static methods of that particular class, or we are accessing directly that particular method, static method of that particular class. Always remember. So using a static keyword, using a static import, now you are accessing directly that particular method. So again, it is of your two types. First one is your explicit and second one is your implicit. In explicit, what you are doing, you are writing, see, import static. So static is a keyword. Always remember, if you are not going to write a static keyword, you might get some error. Okay. Now what we are doing, we are writing import static your java.lang.math.sqrt. So generally this M is in your capital now. Okay. So M should be in your capital because math is a class. So whenever you are importing static package name, class name, and static member, see this is a member I want to access, then this means that I just directly want to access that sqrt. Then in that scenario, I will directly call it as what your explicit type. And what do you mean by implicit? If I just want to access all the static methods, all the static members of that particular class, then I am going to write import static java.lang.math. Okay, it means using this thing, whatever the static methods, okay, that are there inside my this your math class, I will be able to access only those methods. Always remember, I cannot access other than that. Okay, I can access only those things only. Now, so you already know that why we are using static keyword, because using a static keyword we don't require to create what an object. So it means that we cannot access instance method. Also, we cannot create an object of this math class now. Why? Because we are just importing what your static methods only. We are not importing the entire class. We are importing only static methods. So let's take one example. So without static import and you're with static import. Okay. So without static import means if I'm going to write, so right now why I haven't written anything, because you already know that by default we will get what import java dot lang. So this is without static if I want to import a package, and with static import, what is the difference and what is the utility? See, if I'm going to create a class inside public static void main, what I want to do, I want to perform this math. Math is what? This is a class. This class is located where? Inside my lang package, lang package. This class is located, and this sqrt is a method, and this sqrt is what? It is a static method. So till now you already have an idea about that. What thing is that static methods can be accessed directly with the name of your class name. So with your class name, you can directly access that particular method. Okay. So that is why this is how basically what we generally do. Like in your, some of you might have used these methods, this method, static method. So how can you access? You can directly write math.sqrt. Okay. And I am telling you that this sqrt is a static method. If, let's assume, if this method is a non-static method, then what will happen? We will get an error. Why we will get an error? Because we cannot access a non-static method directly with your class name. We can access only your methods with static method with the help of your class name. So these are the things. This is how basically you will get the output. Now let's take one more scenario. And now according to this scenario, what we are doing, we are importing a static package. And here you can see that import static java.lang.math. Now what we are doing, we are accessing that static, whatever the static methods of that particular math class we have. Now here you can see over there what we are doing. We are directly writing what? We are not writing math.sqrt. We are just writing sqrt, max, and random. See, so here you can see over there, we don't need to. Why? Because now we are importing that directly, that particular class, and whatever now you can assume that we have one more class, and what you can do, and this class is already there inside this class. You can assume it like that, and it means we don't require to call that class. It is already there in our class, this main class. So it means we can directly call those methods. We don't need to write math.sqrt. So as I told you that what will happen, what is happening over here, see, according to our Sun microsystem, what they said that readability of the code will improve. So according to them, what they are saying that, okay, you don't need to write math.sqrt. So automatically it will increase your readability of your code. You are just writing sqrt, you are just writing max, and you are just writing random over there. But according to our www expert, what they are saying that if somebody will see your code like this, okay, first of all, they will get confused over here, and they will again get confused over there. But because according to them, this sqrt is not there. Okay, so they will get confused because you should have an idea about this entire math class. Then only you can use this static method. Otherwise, you won't be able to create or basically import these static methods.
Sir,
What I mean to say is that whenever you want
sir,
to, yes,
सर मैं ये पूछ रहा था कि अगर जैसे अपन ने ये जावा डॉट लैंग डॉट मैथ अभी यूज में ले लिया, तो सर अपन अब इसके अलावा सर जैसे स्कैनर वगैरह ये जो क्लास रहेंगी उनको अब यूज में नहीं ले सकते क्या?
no. For that you cannot use it. Again, you have to write it, right? वो तुम्हें फिर से write करना पड़ेगा. देखो नहीं, अच्छा तुम्हारे जो क्वेश्चन था वो आई गॉट योर क्वेश्चन. सी ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, सी अगर एक पैकेज में तुम लिख रहे हो ना इंपोर्ट जावा डॉट यूटिल लिख रखा है, एंड अगेन इफ यू आर राइटिंग इंपोर्ट जावा डॉट यूटिल डॉट स्कैनर, आई थिंक दिस इज योर क्वेश्चन कि अगर हमने सेम पैकेज में सेम प्रोग्राम में दोनों लाइनें लिखी हैं तो सेम थिंग यहां पर भी हो रहा है तुम्हारा, राइट? सो व्हाट आई टोल्ड यू, जब मैंने आपको ऑर्डर ऑफ प्रेसिडेंस बताया था, सबसे पहले इट विल गिव द प्रायोरिटी टू हुम, योर जो आपका एक्सप्लिसिट टाइप का होगा, राइट? फिर उसके बाद तुम्हें प्रायोरिटी किसको मिलेगी? इम्प्लिसिट टाइप वाले को मिलेगी. सिमिलरली यहां पर भी क्या होगा, जब यहां पर अगर तुम और कोई फंक्शन यूज करना चाहते हो, जैसे स्ट्रिंग sc is equals to new string, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि वहां पर तुम्हारा एरर आएगा, कोई एरर नहीं आएगा, बिकॉज इंपोर्ट जावा डॉट लैंग तो ऑलरेडी तुम्हारा आ ही रहा है ना बाय डिफॉल्ट, तो वो कोई इशू नहीं है. बट हम क्या कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर, व्हाट वी आर डूइंग ओवर देयर, हम एक और पैकेज यहाँ पर इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, एंड बट यहाँ पर हम स्पेसिफाई कर रहे हैं, व्हाट वी आर स्पेसिफाइंग ओवर हियर कि दैट पैकेज शुड we can directly access the methods of that particular package. So we are giving the highest priority. तो सबसे highest priority इसको मिलेगी, so we can directly access those methods. So right now अगर आप कोई और चीज access करना चाहते हो, you can directly access those things. I hope you got your or still
अच्छा
having any.
सर, और आपने एक बार वो भी बताया था ना कि मतलब जैसे जब अपना जेवीएम वगैरह जो लेता है तो पहले लोड करता है और मतलब ये सब चीज करता है क्लासेस
Yes,
वगैरह
yes.
को, तो सर इसमें सेम, तो सर पैकेज की मतलब प्रेसिडेंस क्या होगी फिर उसी में?
अच्छा 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 सी होता क्या है ना, वेनेवर सबसे फर्स्ट हमारा क्या रहता है, जब भी हम ये प्रोग्राम को एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं ना, तो ऑलरेडी नो दैट कि हम प्रोग्राम को क्या करते हैं, मेन मेमोरी में लोड करते हैं, क्योंकि मेन मेमोरी हमारी एग्जीक्यूट करती है, राइट? सो होता क्या है, देखो विद इन अ क्लास तो तुम लोगों को ऑलरेडी प्रेसिडेंस पता है कि सबसे फर्स्ट किसको मिलेगी प्रेसिडेंस, स्टैटिक ब्लॉक को मिलती है। देन उसके बाद तुम्हारी मिलती, अगर तुम ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट कर रहे हो तो आईआईबी को मिल रही है। और देन उसके बाद तुम्हारी फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी किसको मिलती है, तुम्हारी देन उसके बाद किसको मिलती है, तुम्हारे कंस्ट्रक्टर को मिलती है। देन उसके बाद जो भी तुमने मेथड्स कॉल कर रखी है उनको मिलती है, राइट? ये तुम्हारी एग्जीक्यूशन की बात कर रहा हूं मैं। बट इन द
यस सर।
सिनेरियो अगर तुम पैकेज के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखोगे तो पैकेज तुम्हारा, दोनों पैकेज तुम बेसिकली क्या कर रहे हो, एग्जीक्यूट कर रहे हो, राइट? एक में तुम स्पेसिफाई कर रहे हो कि मैं खाली डायरेक्टली मैथ क्लास की स्टैटिक मेथड्स को एक्सेस कर रहा हूं, और एक में तुम क्या बता रहे हो, मैं इंटायर जो जावा डॉट लैंग पैकेज है उस पूरे इंटायर फोल्डर को लोड कर रहा हूँ, राइट? सो ऑलवेज यू शुड हैव एन आइडिया कि हमेशा जो प्रायोरिटी रहेगी वो किसकी रहेगी, तुम्हारी इसकी रहेगी, जो तुम्हारी स्टैटिक की रहेगी। तो फर्स्ट तुम्हारी प्रायोरिटी स्टैटिक की जाएगी, देन उसके बाद तुम्हारी हाईएस्ट प्रायोरिटी जाएगी जो भी तुम्हारा नॉर्मली अगर हम एक्सप्लिसिट कोई भी लिखते हैं, राइट? फिर उसके बाद तुम्हारी हाईएस्ट प्रायोरिटी जाएगी इम्प्लिसिट। लाइक इफ आई एम, तो एग्जांपल क्या रहेगा, स्टैटिक का ये एग्जांपल हो गया। एक्सप्लिसिट का क्या हो गया तुम्हारा, अगर तुम खाली डायरेक्ट लिख रहे हो इंपोर्ट जावा डॉट लैंग डॉट मैथ ओनली, हम यहाँ स्टैटिक नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम खाली मैथ कर रहे हैं, तो सेकंड प्रायोरिटी इसको मिलेगी और थर्ड प्रायोरिटी किसको मिलेगी, इंपोर्ट जावा डॉट लैंग को मिलेगी, राइट? ये तुम्हारी ऑर्डर ऑफ प्रेसिडेंस रहेगा, ऑलवेज रिमेंबर
सर
दिस।
सर पर ये मतलब ऑर्डर ऑफ प्रेसिडेंस जो है अपने पर, ये काम का तो है ही नहीं, क्योंकि अगर अपन एक बार इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं तो अगर क्लास यूज में
हाँ
लिया है उसके बाद
देखो
तो अपन
विद इन
इंपोर्ट
अ
कर भी नहीं
क्लास,
सकते।
वो या दैट क्वेश्चन इज वैलिड। विद इन अ क्लास कभी भी ये तुम्हारा इतना लॉजिकल नहीं होगा वैसे, क्योंकि हम एक्चुअल में रियलिटी में अगर आप देखोगे तो लॉजिकली तो आप क्या कर रहे हो, सेमी पैकेज को तो कर रहे हो ना, सेमी पैकेज को तो एक्सेस कर रहे हो, इम्प्लिसिट कर रहे हो, एक्सप्लिसिट कर रहे हो, या वैसे कर रहे हो, कर तो वैसे ही रहे हो तुम लोग डायरेक्टली। बट व्हाट आई मीन टू से इज दैट वो कहां पर तुम्हारा इंपैक्ट पड़ेगा, जैसे ये वाले केस में था, राइट? यहाँ पर तुम्हारा ऑर्डर ऑफ प्रेसिडेंस का क्यों बोला, अगर तुम्हारा ऑर्डर ऑफ प्रेसिडेंस अगर हम इंपोर्ट जावा डॉट लैंग को देते, लेट्स अज्यूम अगर मैं जावा डॉट लैंग को हाईएस्ट प्रायोरिटी देता, सबसे हाईएस्ट प्रायोरिटी, सो वो एसक्यूआरटी में क्या कर देता है, एरर दे देता है, वो कहता है अरे एसक्यूआरटी तो कुछ यहाँ पर अवेलेबल ही नहीं है, राइट? अगर हम बहुत ज्यादा हाईएस्ट प्रायोरिटी दे रहे हैं, जनरली वैसे विद इन अ पैकेज इसमें कोई प्रायोरिटी का नहीं आएगा केस जो तुम बता रहे हो, बट ये कब आएगा तुम्हारा प्रायोरिटी का केस, अगेन वही जब तुम्हारी क्लासेस या मेथड्स जो कॉमन है अमंग डिफरेंट डिफरेंट पैकेजेस, राइट? तो उस वाले केस में किसको प्रायोरिटी देनी है, जैसे मैंने तुम्हें एग्जांपल दिया ना था, जैसे डेट क्लास का मैंने तुम्हें एग्जांपल दिया था, सो उस वाले केस को हमने कैसे सॉर्ट आउट किया था, वो हमने ऐसे सॉर्ट आउट किया था, राइट? बिकॉज डेट क्लास दोनों में अवेलेबल है। अब इसको रिजॉल्व कैसे करेंगे, तो मैंने क्या किया था, इसको एक्सप्लिसिट बना दिया था फर्स्ट को, और सेकंड को इम्प्लिसिट किया था। सो ऑटोमेटिकली अब ये जो डेट क्लास है डायरेक्टली किसको बिलोंग करेगी, इसकी यूटिल की डेट क्लास को बिलोंग करेगी। तो सिमिलरली जो प्रायोरिटीज होती है वो क्या होगी, तुम्हारे डिफरेंट पैकेजेस तुम्हारी वो होंगे, विद इन अ पैकेज वो कभी तुम्हारी प्रायोरिटी नहीं होगी, क्योंकि पैकेज में तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो सब चीज आ ही रही है ना। गॉट द पॉइंट?
यस सर।
तो विद इन अ पैकेज, यस यू आर करेक्ट कि विद इन अ पैकेज वो कभी भी तुम्हारा इशू नहीं आएगा, बिकॉज वो तो हम तीनों चीजें वहां पर लोड कर ही रहे हैं, तो वहां पर कभी भी इशू नहीं आएगा। बट या इफ यू आर एक्सेसिंग डिफरेंट डिफरेंट पैकेजेस एंड दे आर हैविंग सेम मेथड, लेट्स अज्यूम वहां पर तुम्हारी सेम मैथ क्लास मेथड है कोई दूसरे पैकेज में, तो इन दैट सिनेरियो हम किसको प्रायोरिटी देंगे, एक तुमने स्टैटिक कर रखा है, एक तुमने नॉर्मल कर रखा है, तो स्टैटिक वाले को फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी इन दैट सिनेरियो। So here you can see over there what we have discussed so far, that you can directly access what we are doing, यहाँ पर हमने क्या किया था, what we are doing, हमने यहाँ पर क्या किया था, जब हमने static import किया था, so we have just written import static java dot lang dot method. Math is what? Math is a class, and after that we have written dot asterisk. Dot asterisk means what? It might be possible that in this math class we might have several other static methods. So हम सब static methods को access कर सकते हैं. We can access all those static methods. But suppose if you want to access only that particular static method, then what we can do, we can write like this: import static java.lang.math.sqrt. See, अब हम क्या बता रहे हैं? What we are telling our compiler, we just want to access which method? Only this sqrt method. We don't want to access some other your static method right there. Okay, like that. So that is why, see, अगर अब मैं इस प्रोग्राम को एग्जीक्यूट करता हूं, so what is happening over here? I am getting an error. If I am going to execute this code, see, earlier case में मैंने जब ये execute किया था code, what I am getting the output, right? ये मैंने जब कोड को एग्जीक्यूट किया था, दिस कोड, तो मैंने क्या किया था, देखो sqrt में क्या आया, 2.0 आया, मैक्स 10,10 में आपका 20 आ गया, और रैंडम में हमारा ये कोई भी एक रैंडम नंबर 0 to 1 इसने डिसाइड करके आपका ऑटोमेटिकली ये नंबर आ गया, राइट? इट मींस हमने जो भी स्टैटिक मेथड्स हैं, ऑल दीज आर व्हाट योर स्टैटिक मेथड्स, sqrt, max, rand, all these are what your static method. So whenever we are going to write math dot asterisk for static import, then it means that जो भी तुम्हारी static method है हम सबको access कर सकते हैं. Now, but in the second case, what I told you, I want to access only sqrt method, right? अब मैं क्या करना चाहता हूँ, मैं खाली एक sqrt method को access करना चाहता हूँ. Now I want to make it ensure, I want to ensure that कि मैं अब खाली sqrt method को directly access करना चाहता हूँ. So now if I am going to execute this code, so see, मेरे पास क्या आ रहा है, error आ रहा है. And the error, देखो error कहाँ पर आ रहा है, ये चीज वर्क कर रही है, ये चीज फाइन है, यहाँ पर कोई एरर नहीं आ रहा है, यहाँ पर कोई एरर नहीं आ रहा है, इवन ये लाइन में भी एरर नहीं आ रहा है. Why I am not getting an error over here? See, यहाँ पर आपका sqrt तो ऑलरेडी है ना, तो हम sqrt को लोड कर रहे हैं, ओनली sqrt मेथड को ही हम क्या कर रहे हैं, इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. बट व्हाट अबाउट मैक्स एंड रैंडम? मैक्स और रैंडम को तो हम इंपोर्ट कर ही नहीं रहे. So that is why C cannot find symbol, so we cannot directly access these methods. Okay, so that is why we are getting an error over here. So if you want to access that particular static method, अगर आप directly वो particular static method को access कर सकते हो, if you want, then you can directly access that particular method directly over there. But as you can see over there, according to me, I am in favor of your www expert. Okay, I am against your Watson microsystem team, because even according to me, see, अभी तो हम एक small सा program write कर रहे हैं, but even according to me, it is a very confusing thing. Why it is a very confusing thing? First of all, I have to see, मेरे को पहले ये भी find out करना पड़ेगा कि मैथ के अंदर कौन कौन सी methods static है, कौन सी instance method है, वो सब find out करना पड़ेगा. So the complexity will become high. Even कोई मेरा कोड देखेगा तो even you are not at all sure, अगर मैं ये कोड तुमको दूंगा and you don't have any idea कि sqrt तुम्हारी static method है या नहीं है, you won't be able to tell me about okay whether you will get an error or not. तो अब तुम्हें और ज्यादा डेप्थ में देखना है. अदरवाइज क्लासेस तक दैट इज ओके, क्लासेस तक आपको पता है कि अच्छा यूटिलिटी पैकेज में कौन कौन सी क्लासेस अवेलेबल है, दैट इज ओके फॉर श्योर. But if you are going for in depth that okay what are the methods that are there, then it becomes so complex, and again you have to find out whether it is a static method or a instance method. Okay, so even according to me, I am not in favor of with the static import too. Okay, like that. So what I mean to say is that see, whenever we are writing system.out.println, so till now अब आप अभी तक आप यूज कर रहे हो system.out.println, but what this system.out.println? Okay, so I think you already know that okay, println is a method. Okay, and you know that println is a method which is basically it is which is overriding many things like that. Sometimes if we want to execute a string, तो string भी हमारा execute हो जाता है. If we are passing integer value, so integer भी हो जाता है. तो ये आपकी क्या print तो is a method which is present. Now, what do you mean by system? Always remember, system is a class. System is what? It is a class. Always remember this point in your mind. Right? So system.out.println जब भी हम लिख रहे हैं, whenever we are writing system.out.println, so what do you mean by system? System is a class. What is a println? Println is a method, right? And what do you mean by out? So don't get confused. So out क्या होता है आपका? Out is again a static variable. If somebody will ask you, so that is why I'm just telling you, or where this system class is located. This system class is located inside java.lang package. So that is why without importing that particular package, we will be able to access that particular class. Okay. So always remember, if we are going to write system.out.println, even though we are not getting an error, why we are not getting an error? Because system class आपकी already कहाँ पर है? आपकी यहाँ कहाँ पर अवेलेबल है? आपकी यहाँ पर lang पैकेज में. Similarly, after that हम एक वेरिएबल को एक्सेस कर रहे हैं, that is your out variable. Okay, this is a what? This is a static variable that is present in your what? Inside this your system class, and after that we are calling a method that is known as what? Your println method. If somebody will ask you, okay, what do you mean by system.out.println? Always remember, system is a class, out is a your static variable, which is of which data type variable? Your print stream. So automatically एक और तुम्हारा data type होता है like int, float, double. One more data type. We generally don't use this data type in a generalized sense because we directly use the functionality of our print stream. But if you want to make some changes, so you can use it. So basically what that particular data type, that is your print stream data type. Okay. So out that is present and type your print stream, and println is what? It is a method. Okay, like this. Now one more thing is that what I told you that this static is what this is the static variable. Okay. Now can I basically write it down? Can I write a program without writing system.out.println? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. So see, अब मैंने क्या किया इस problem को sort out करने के लिए, what I have done, I have write it down like this: import static java.lang system.out. Okay, so you know that this out is what? This is a static variable. If you want to access a static variable or a static method, it's up to you. Okay, all these static variables as well as static methods you can access from using this your static import. Now after that, what if I'm going to write out.println? Now see, अब मैं क्या लिख रहा हूँ? अब मैं system.out.println नहीं लिख रहा हूँ. Why I am not writing? Because मैंने automatically ये जो system class है ना, इसकी जितनी भी तुम्हारी static methods हैं, वो मैंने automatically क्या कर दी? यहाँ पर load कर दी. Automatically मैंने load कर दिया जो मैंने earlier case में लिखा है. So if I am going to just write it down out.println and out.println like this, so I will get this output like this. But again, if I'm going to ask you about, are you say according to you whether this entire code is readable or not, then you will say that according to me, most of you will say that yeah, the readability of the code is means वो आपकी क्या होगी है, improve नहीं हो रही है. We are degrading, we are degree because यहाँ पर आपकी confusion ज़्यादा increase हो रहा है. Okay, like ये क्या चीज है? What is this? Why you are writing all these things? So it's better to write. वो ज़्यादा easy था आपके लिए लिखना system.out.println. But यहाँ पर ये चीज लिखना है आपके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा confusing है. Okay, so that is why it is not recommended to write like this. Okay, so if somebody will ask you what do you mean by system.out.println, then always say that system is a class. Out is what? Out is your static variable of which data type? Your print stream data type, and println is what? It is a method. So we can directly call that particular method. Okay, so these are the things. So this is the
right
last
now.
slide. Yes, any questions so far?
We have a class right now.
Sorry.
So we have another class right now.
Yeah. I'm just going to end this package. Yeah. I got the point. Now, what's the time basically?
So 9:30 it started.
it started, then I'm going to end. So you can directly go through this PPT. Okay. So in the last, I have just given you all these questions. So just try to find out which package is valid. Okay. And based on that, what you can do, you can directly find it out. No issue at all. Okay. So this is all about our today's lecture. Just go through it. And in the next lecture, we are going to start our new topic. And that topic is